All right, let's talk about stubborn belly fat. If you're feeling stuck, get ready for a completely different way of thinking about this. We're going to throw out all that old, tired advice and focus on the one thing that actually controls whether your body stores or burns fat.
Does this sound familiar to you? You're doing everything you're supposed to. You're eating less, you're moving more, you're tracking every last calorie, but that fat around your middle just refuses to leave? It's so frustrating. But it turns out this isn't a willpower problem. You're actually fighting a battle against your own hormones. Okay, let's get into it.
First things first, we need to completely dismantle the biggest myth out there in the world of weight loss. This idea that it's all about calories. Honestly, this one concept is the reason so many of us get stuck. We have all been sold this idea that our body is just a simple calculator, right? Calories in versus calories out. But here's the thing. Your body is a super complex biological system. When you just slash your calories, your metabolism freaks out and hits the emergency brake, slowing everything down to save energy. The real story isn't about the number of calories. It's about the hormonal signals that are telling your body what to do with them. So, if calories aren't the boss, then what is? Well, let's meet the true master regulator of your body's fat storage. It's a hormone called insulin. So this hormone insulin, its job is actually super simple to understand. Think of it like a one-way switch. When your insulin levels are high, your body is physically locked in fat storage mode. The entire fat-burning machine is switched off. It's only when those insulin levels fall that your body can finally flip that switch back on and start using its own stored body fat for fuel. Think of it this way. Your body has two different fuel tanks. One runs on sugar from the food you just ate, and the other, much bigger tank, runs on your stored body fat. Insulin is basically the traffic cop that decides which fuel tank you get to use. And when insulin is high, it puts up a huge roadblock, forcing your body to only burn the sugar from your last meal. Your vast fat reserves, they stay completely locked away. So what makes insulin go up? Well, as you can see, carbohydrates are the main driver. Sugar, starches, grains, they all cause a big spike. Protein has a more moderate effect, and fat has almost no impact at all. But here's the kicker, the crucial piece that most of us miss. It's not just what you eat, it's the simple act of eating itself. Every single time you eat, yep, even a tiny healthy snack, you raise insulin and flip that fat-burning switch to off. Once you really get that, the solution becomes, well, it becomes incredibly clear. The goal isn't to starve yourself. The goal is to just create longer periods of time where your insulin is low. And the strategy for that is surprisingly simple. It's all about when you eat. So check this out. This chart shows a pretty typical day for a lot of people. Breakfast at 7 a.m., a snack here, lunch there, dinner, maybe a late bite at 9 p.m. Because insulin is spiking all day long, your body spends a staggering 16 hours, that's 2/3 of the entire day, in fat storing mode. The only time you're really burning fat is when you're asleep. You're basically set up to lose this hormonal battle from the start. Now look what happens when we simply shrink that eating window. We don't even change what you're eating, just when you eat it. So by eating only between, say, noon and 8 p.m., you completely flip the ratio. Suddenly, you're spending 2/3 of your day in a low insulin, fat-burning state. This simple change in timing gives your body the chance it's been waiting for, to finally tap into its stored fat. So it really all boils down to these two powerful steps to get your insulin down. First, lower your carbohydrate intake to stop those big insulin spikes from happening in the first place. And second, just eat less often by shrinking that eating window. You combine these two, and you create the absolute perfect hormonal environment to unlock your stored fat. And this system is incredibly sensitive. As Dr. Eric Berg points out, even a tiny amount of carbs can just hit the pause button on fat burning for up to 2 full days. This is why consistency is so important. You have to give your body the time it needs to become fat adapted, which is just a fancy way of saying it gets really good at using its own fat for fuel. Okay, so we've covered diet and timing, but what about exercise? This is where the story takes a really interesting turn, because the best kind of exercise for belly fat has almost nothing to do with burning calories. We've all been trained to think of exercise as a way to burn off the food we ate, right? We hop on the treadmill to earn a treat or to punish ourselves for having a big meal. But is that really the most important thing it does for losing belly fat? The answer is a huge no.
The most powerful role of the right kind of exercise is to manage your body's main stress hormone, cortisol. Chronically high cortisol is a major driver of fat storage, specifically right around your midsection. This table just breaks it down perfectly. On one side, you've got your super intense, high-intensity workouts. They're anaerobic, meaning they burn sugar for quick fuel, and they spike your stress hormone, cortisol. That cortisol spike can actually make you crave sugar later on. But now look at the other side, low-intensity walking. It's aerobic, so its main fuel source is fat. And here is the absolute key. It actually lowers your cortisol, which reduces stress and helps your body become more sensitive to insulin. It's a game changer.
So what's the goal here? Well, aiming for around 8 to 10,000 steps a day is a fantastic target. And listen, this isn't about exhausting yourself at the gym. It's just about consistently moving your body to manage those stress hormones and create an environment where fat burning can actually happen.
Okay, let's put it all together. This is your new playbook. It's a simpler path to fat loss because it's all about working with your body's hormones, not constantly fighting against them. So here it is, your daily checklist. Eat in a shorter window, 8 hours or less. Walk every day, aiming for that 8 to 10,000 step goal. Get rid of the processed foods that are designed to spike your insulin. Find ways that work for you to manage stress. Maybe it's meditation or just some deep breathing. And finally, prioritize getting 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep, which is absolutely critical for keeping cortisol in check. Every single one of these actions directly targets the hormones that control whether you store or burn fat.
So I'll just leave you with this final thought. For years, all the advice has been to just try harder. More discipline, more workouts, less food. But what if that's been the wrong way to look at it all along? What if the key to finally losing that stubborn belly fat isn't about more effort, but just about a smarter understanding of how your body actually works?